Broadcasting from the greatest castle in the world, in the county of Lawrence, NCTV45. NCTV45, The Train, anytime on your time.
Hello and welcome to another Focus NC. And you know, I couldn't resist. Why? Because this came up again, traveling down the path to me, and I already spoke on this once. I keep good notes. Okay, and what's the topic? Community. Community building. Now, community building only happens with social interaction. Community building, social interaction decreases drug and crime rates. I'm not making this up, folks. I even got a book of people that you could even go check out the book. Healthy communities have healthy social interaction. Patrick Holmes wrote a book, Primal Branding. In the book, he noted some 4 things that we're going to talk about. Communities happen because of human nature. Everybody wants to belong. I wore my, not because I'm cold, I wore my train shirt last year during the inclement weather when I went on Facebook and I had NCTV45 The Train. We all thought of ourselves as community. We were in a storm, and go ahead, go back and watch. Thousands of people watched because they wanted to be part of the community and know what was going on. Deep down, everybody wants to belong. Outsiders want to belong to their group. Okay? So, in this time where you have much social unrest, building community becomes a simple task. All you have to do is start with the first thing. Social interaction. Talking to people, going to a common place. And you can't tell somebody else, I'm building your community, go do this, when you can't do it yourself. Frank Cush used to coach at Arizona State. He never asked his players to do something he wouldn't do. So if he told the players, hey, we're running up that mountain today. Now, I'm not a big Arizona State fan. I guess it was Arizona State. He'd run up the mountain. Now, you know, hey, he only wanted everybody else to do what he was willing to do. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about these other areas. And one of them is leadership, and just a whole bunch on community right after we hear from these great sponsors. Elham's for one great dining experience.
At our law firm, we see you. Come see us at lgkg.com.
On Target Printing, 1319 West State Street. No job is too big or too small. Turnaround on most jobs, 24 hours. We make you look good on paper. Welcome back. We're talking about community and everybody wanting to belong to a community. Now, here's some interesting things that have to be mentioned. When you develop this community, everybody's not going to have the same belief. However, they might believe in the same thing. Not everybody believes in certain issues of the day. However, they all believe that they want to get there. I don't care whether it's peace, healthcare, the economy, education. Everybody wants to believe that they want to achieve. Leaders. Leaders are people, and people center around leaders that have the same disposition as the community. Now, this can be seen in presidents we've elected, either present or past. Okay? Don't lose sight and talk about the little bells and whistles they want to put out there to derail you. Because whether the president was a conservative or a liberal, whether you liked him or you didn't like him, the one thing that he will reflect is his electorate. The people that put him in office. And they all have in common a same personality. Now, don't start giving me that hate stuff, because it's not like people to hate. It's like people to want to belong. Furthermore, and I want to talk about, there are stories that relate to this. Okay? Things that make things seem better. Visuals. When you look at your community, are you seeing a polished, clean community? What's the narrative? What narrative are you saying about your community? Is it positive? Or is it just a complaint? Oh, I don't go to this stuff because, hey, it's the same old. Why should I go to a football game on Friday night? It's the same thing. I did that 20 years ago, and I don't have to do it now. Well, then evidently, you don't want to be part of the community. And if you don't want to be part of the community, then why are you choosing to be a leader? Something you might have to ask yourself. Now, while you're doing that, we're going to take a break here from these great sponsors. And when we get back, a whole bunch more, and we'll wrap it up right here on Focus NC. Today's programming furnished by a grant from Joseph's Supermarket. Special thanks to Joseph's. The Pokeberry Exchange at 41 North Mercer Street has gifts galore that'll make you want to explore. Lamps, homemade lamps of every shape and color that will excite any room in your house. Wind chimes hang from the door to give that sweet sound. Sweet soaps and teas, embroidered towels, and much more. It's the Pokeberry Exchange. It's yours to explore. Hey, when you need to get out and have just a little bit of a relaxing afternoon, morning, I got a great idea. Why don't you go play around the golf? And you don't have to go to the big courses, be crowded off. No, go a short drive route right up Route 18 to New Wilmington, Pennsylvania, and you'll see Morelands. A great par 3 golf course, Morelands, just right for you. Welcome back to Focus NC, and we've gone through that everybody wants to belong. We talked about developing. There's certain things people believe in, and you know, I wanted to use the example of greens. In 1976, as a 15-year-old growing up on the plains of Union, I worked at Rocky's Market. And the one thing that we had in the cooler at Rocky's Market was collard greens, turnip greens, mustard greens, scuttle, endive, just to name a few. Now, if you know anything about greens, you know that different groups cook greens. Yep. It was the same topic, but these different women would come, sometimes men, to Rocky's Market to go to that little door back just beyond the door to the soap room, just beyond the dairy case, to say, hey, I need 3 pounds of endive. I need 2 pounds of turnip. I need 3 pounds of collard. They were all buying greens. And a community was developed right there in Union Township. Isn't that amazing? Where do we gather to develop community today? Ask yourself that question. And those people that aspire to be leaders, are they at the places in which we gather? Our third point, develop rituals. People repeat things or repeat doing things. It's elementary, it's expected, and that builds a community. Well, we're all doing this together. You can see that in the different churches. You could see that on a Friday night back in the 1970s, where everybody got and traveled off to a high school football game. You could see that in 1947, June 13th, 1947, when P.J. Flaherty opened Flaherty Field and told them, think about it as a work in progress. As a philanthropist, he opened the baseball stadium that showed the likes of Detroit, Cleveland, and the Washington Senators playing their farm teams there. 5,000 people went to the first game. They didn't say, oh, you know, this isn't finished. Oh, geez, I could do better if I went to Pittsburgh. They took the train to Pittsburgh. They took the train to Cleveland. but they could also see night baseball in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Community happens when people gather. Now, the policies, the overlook, the message that you get when you go to one of those schools that's a private school, it's a message that resonates with their community. Because, you know, a bigger school, they deal in numbers. You know, Texas, Penn State, huge numbers. But when you get smaller schools, Duquesne, Notre Dame, they have a ritual that people have come to expect, that people want to belong to that community. It could be expanded right here in Lawrence County, Newcastle, Lawrence County, that people enjoy doing these things. It's even seen in the language they use. The use of words, the lingo. Go Canes. We are NC. Love you blue. Green machine. Let's go Cats. We can build community right here. Here at NCTV45, I've done some research on the whole thing. You know, and in the words of that patriot, Ben Franklin, as we're nearing the 4th of July, if we don't all hang together, surely we'll all hang separately. Here at NCTV45, I'm open to anybody's suggestions, comments, opinions, or anything they want to share, as long as it's constructive and propels us forward. And I'm willing to work inside that confines and go to meetings, whatever it takes. Let's start to move forward as a city and a county. You can do it with community. For Focus NC, I'm Angelo Parada. And NCTV45, remember, we're available anytime on your time. Have a pleasant evening.
Don't say you got everything, gonna be everyone, gotta be everyone. Don't say you got anything, gotta be everything.